go ahead and get started. All you need is a long band. Now, as you can see, mine is kind of a circular big old loop. But if you have just like a long TheraBand or anything like that, you don't have to be too fancy or specific with that, whatever really works. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Pop the band to one side and let's stand at the end of the mat for me. We're going to have our feet hip distance apart. Let's go ahead and bring our chin into our chest, our belly button into our spine. Really let that head lead the way. And then go ahead and sway from side to side, releasing and relaxing. Come to a still and roll that body up. Imagine that you're building your spine up against a wall and roll our shoulders back. And again, chin into the chest, belly button into the spine, rolling down. Let the hands dangle, let the arms dangle. And then rolling back up, one vertebrae after the other. Again, roll those shoulders back. And last one, chin into the chest, belly button into the spine, rolling down, one vertebrae after the other. And then rolling back up for me. Good, nice and controlled. And then roll our shoulders back up at the top. Good. Let's go ahead and cross one ankle over the other. Let's bring our arms into genie arms. Let's bend at the knees and take a seat down. Or just come on down however you best can. It always is a bit further than you end up thinking. Let's separate our feet about shoulder distance apart. And let's go ahead and just drape over those legs. So I want you to relax in that upper body for me. Looking towards that navel, I'm going to get you to take a nice deep breath in as we expand the ribs to the back, and then exhale as we let that breath out. And again, taking a nice deep breath in, that nice lateral breathing, and let that breath go. And last time for me, inhaling through the nose, and exhaling through the mouth. Sitting up nice and tall for me. And then let's go ahead and scooch ourselves back. I'm going to grab my band now, and I'm going to place the band, just part of it, over, or I should say under the arches of the feet. Let's extend the legs for me. I'm going to have them shoulder distance apart, so I've got some good tension on that band. Again, really make sure it's around the arch of the foot because we don't want it to spring up and smack you in the face. So holding up, I'm going to choke up a fair bit with this tension band, but obviously if it was a little heavier, then play around with that. We're going to lift our arms up a little bit, palms facing in. Take a nice deep breath in. And as we exhale, let's rotate and roll to the side and come back through center. Opposite side for me. Take a nice deep breath in. Exhale, roll that left elbow back, almost like a bow and arrow. Good. My hip bones are facing forward to the wall just in front of me still. And I'm just rotating at that waist. Last one for me. And back through center. Good. Keeping my band where it is, but I'm going to loosen the grip a little bit. My arms are going to come out almost into that sort of slightly forward position of a T. Palms are facing back. We're going to bring our palms back towards the wall behind us and then bring it back in. Palms are back towards the wall behind us and bring it back in. I want us to squeeze our shoulder blades together for me. Thinking about relaxing our shoulders out of our ears for me. Good. Sitting up tall onto those sit bones, like we're sat up against a wall for me. Actively engage that lower abdominal. Good. And we have 4. Beautiful. And 3. Almost there. And 2. We can really feel those postural muscles working. And 1. Can we keep our arms back? Can we do small little pulses back for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And release. Now let's go ahead and bring it just around our right foot for me. Hold it in our hands and let's extend both legs nice and long, flexing both feet. Let's go ahead and dive forward over those legs. As we roll back down, we can use that band to help lower us down. Go ahead, lifting that leg up for me. Holding on with that band with both hands and just guide our elbows down towards our waist. We're going to let that leg come over to that left shoulder. We're going to circle that leg around and we're going to bring it back up. Good. So if we need to bring that one hand, that opposite hand, just onto the floor, just to stabilize ourselves. Feel free to. Again, guys, the goal of these leg circles is to keep everything else in that body completely still. So we cross and we circle and we center and pause. Just guiding it almost like it's the reins of a horse. And last one, around and back in other direction. Bringing that left hand just to that opposite hip, just to make sure it doesn't pop up off the ground. And circle and center and pause. As we cross and around and back in. We have 3 and circle and center and pause. 2 and around and back in. And 1 and circle and center. Let's bend the leg, bringing that left foot up. Switch over for me. Let's extend firstly that supporting leg. I want us to flex that right foot and ground the heel and the back of the leg in. Extending our left leg up towards the ceiling. Let's go ahead, bring our right arm down to the side just to stabilize. We guide that leg over to the opposite shoulder and we circle and we center and pause. We cross and we circle and we center and pause. So this band is a great little addition just to really help guide where you want that leg to go. Good, nice, while supporting that hip and that joint. Good, we're going to do one more in this direction. Again, making sure everything in that body is still. Opposite direction, we come out and around and back in. Can we make sure that the pelvis is square to the ceiling at all times, so we're not getting all loosey-goosey in those hips. Last 2 and around and back in. Last 1 and around and back in. Nice. Let's go ahead. Let's bend that leg for me. Bring it all the way down to the ground. And let's hold on to that band as we tuck the chin and exhale as we dive up and over for me. Coming up nice and tall and releasing hold of that band. Now I'm going to face towards you, but you can face wherever. I'm going to bring that band and I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to bring it behind my back for me. So once it's behind my back, I'm going to tuck it underneath those armpits. Good. So again, depending on what band you have will depend on where you hold. Obviously, if it's a lot tighter, then we're going to go ahead and have less slack on here. So let's have our knees directly underneath of our hips, keeping our chest and our hips facing forward. We're going to go ahead as we punch out with our right arm and bring it back in. Punching out with our left and bringing it back in. Again, we have 8, nice, and 7, and bring it back home, and 6, relax those shoulders for me. 5, keeping everything still. 4, almost there, and 3, and 2, and 1. From here, we're going to go ahead, we're going to do a double punch out for me and control it in. Now, next time we come out, we're coming slightly a little bit wider with those arms and back in. And then next time we come out, we're coming out to the sides in a T. So we're going to repeat that. We're coming straight to the front and back in, straight to the sides. Good on that diagonal. And straight out into that T. Perfect. Again, we have the front and control it in. We have that medial position and back in. And we have out to the sides and control it back in. Again, we have forward. Make sure we're not rounding those shoulders forward. And medially, keep the shoulder blades back together. And to the sides and back in. Nice. Now, I'm going to face sideways on because I want you to see what I'm up to. From here, I'm going to thread my hands through the loops. But if you don't have loops, you can just put it on to the end of your, just holding that at one end of the band down for me. So the hands are going to be underneath of the shoulders for me. The knees are going to be underneath of the hips. And we're going to tuck those toes. So we're going to do one bear hover. We hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower down, come up off those toes and come into that tricep push-up and come back up. Tuck the toes, push up, resist against that little bit of additional tension that's being offered by that band. Lower the knees down, unhook the toes, tricep push up, and coming back up. We tuck the toes, hover, hold, breathe, keeping that neck in neutral, not dangling it down, so looking to the end of the mat. Lower the knees, untuck the toes, coming down to those tricep push-ups, elbows are facing to the wall behind you. Last one, we hover and hold and breathe. And lower down, untuck the toes, coming down to those forearms, lifting up and relaxing back. Now from here, let's go ahead. Let's bring that band just around the arch of our foot. We're going to have it around our left foot for me. So from here, let's go ahead and just hook that little feather on for me. Good. I'm going to bring it just both parts of the strap into my right hand. And I'm going to place it down. From here, I'm pushing straight out and controlling in. Now this band becomes a little bit heavy when it's the two. So I'm going to go ahead and just have one into that hand for me. And I'm just going to bring my knee leaning on that other part. So then that becomes a little bit more accessible to be able to do my pushback. So I'm going to push it straight back and control it in. And now with these bands, that's a lot of what it is. It's playing around with what position works, what tension works. Good, last one for me. And controlling back in. Good. Let's go ahead and switch to that second side. So let's bring it around the arch of our left foot for me. Again, I'm going to bring one of the bands underneath that opposite knee for me, and I'm going to hold onto that part of strap into my left hand, and I'm going to place it down for me. Always make sure you flex that back foot, guys, because otherwise you're going to find that it is not going to stay very well. Taking a nice deep breath in, make sure we reset that position. Push straight back with a flex foot and control it in. Squeezing into the glute and the hamstring, control it in. Making sure that we're not dumping into that opposite side for me. We're trying to keep that nice square box position. Good, last two for me, and two. Good, and last one for me. Control it in. Lovely. Now, let's go ahead and lie onto your side. Now, I'm going to bring my foot just into that top foot. That band is just into that top foot. I'm going to go ahead and prop myself up on that elbow for me. I'm going to take both parts of that band into my right hand for me. It's like a big game twister, guys. Right hand blue, left foot yellow. So, elbows underneath the shoulder, lifting that waist up off the floor. Bottom leg is bent just to offer that bit of support. Shoulders are stacked, hips are stacked. Let's go ahead. I'm going to bring a slight bicep curl into that arm for me. From here, I'm going to lift the leg up just above hip height, and I'm going to lower it down. Good. I'm going to lift it up, and I'm going to lower. Now, let's get the arm involved. We come out of the bicep curl. We bicep curl, hold halfway, lift, lower, come out of that curl. We curl, lift, lower, come out of the curl for me. Bicep curl halfway, lift, lower, come out of the curl. Let's keep our foot flexed for me, and let's keep our leg parallel. So we're really building into that side of the glute. Good. Last one, lift, lower, release. And from here, we're going to again bend at the elbow, lift the leg, and we're going to do circles with that leg from that hip joint forward for 4, 3, keep the foot flexed, 2, keep the leg parallel, 1, and reverse, and 5, 4, push away from the elbow, 3, 2, 1, and lower back down. Good. Let's push up and onto that second side. So again, making sure that we're popping our foot, just that arch of that foot is onto that loop. Taking both parts of the other end into our left hand. And let's come onto our right side. So right elbow is underneath the bar shoulder. Again, lifting that waist up off the floor. Bottom leg is bent. leg is facing forward, and let's go ahead. We bicep curl halfway. We lift, we lower, we come out of that curl. We bicep curl halfway. We lift, we lower, we release. Again, half bicep curl, lift, lower, release. Nice. So making sure that we're keeping everything stacked in our fist, our wrist, and our forearm. So we don't want to be breaking at the wrist. Good. So again, we lift, lower, release. Last one, as we bend and lift, lower, release. Now, stay into that half bicep curl. Lift that leg up and circle forward from that hip joint for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and reverse. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower down. And if your circles looked a bit more like a weird kindergarten scribble like mine, absolutely fine. Let's lie onto our back for me. Let's bring both feet into those loops. And then let's, with control, we're going to have a part of a strap in each hand, rolling down with control, and bring our legs into tabletop. Now, from here, we're going to take a nice deep breath in. We're going to exhale, curl up and over, extend the legs, lower only as far as you can control, lift, bend, and come out of that curl. So let's make that a bit more fluid. We curl and press, lower, lift, and bring our legs in as we lower the head. Curl and press, keeping a little distance between those legs for me. Good, making sure that we're keeping train track legs, and lower, and lift, and back down, and one more as we curl, lower, lift, and back down. Good. Go ahead, let's just move that band to one side. Let's rock a little bit from side to side, releasing and relaxing. And then let's go ahead and start rocking back and forth for me. So we're tucking it into that chest and curling all the way up. Now, from here, last exercise of the day, our teaser. We're going to extend those legs out eventually, but let's go ahead and pop that band around the arches. We're going to take a nice deep breath, and there's going to be levels here, guys, so there's something for everybody. So, first things first. First level, we're going to bring our heels onto the floor. We're holding on to that band, one band in each hand, one part of the band in each hand. We're going to scoop back, rounding down for me. Good. And controlling all the way back up for me. And again, so you can see I'm not going all the way down. I'm just coming down, just to about my lower back. And I'm going to exhale as I help myself up. So that's layer number 1. Layer number 2, we're going to go ahead, keep our legs in tabletop. And then as we exhale, we're going to tuck the chin, push our legs away for me, and hover those heels down. Or we can go ahead and keep them up into tabletop, up to you. So again, we go ahead, keep the legs nice and still, or as still as possible. Again, take a nice deep breath in, exhale, as we either hover the feet or keep them lifted. And last one, we're going to go ahead. We're taking a nice deep breath in. We're going to extend those legs out as we come up. Take a nice deep breath in. Exhale, tuck the chin. Come all the way up. Extend the legs. Look towards those toes for me. Gaze is on the toes. Lower torso is tucked. And then we're keeping our chest proud. And then from here, let's just loosen some of the slack. I'm going to lower all the way down simultaneously, upper body and lower body. And then final layer, we're going to come up with straight legs. Take a nice deep breath in, exhale, as we flow up for me again, looking towards those toes, chest is proud, tail is tucked, and melting all the way back down. Let's do a couple more of whatever level you're at, guys. Again, tuck the chin, exhale as we come up. Now guys, if the band's not working for you, then absolutely we can lose that band and just come into whichever variation of teaser is good. Last one, take a nice deep breath in. Exhale, tuck the chin, coming on up. Simultaneously we come up, we hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, lower the legs down, come all the way up. And then let's go ahead and use that band as a little bit of a help for our stretching. So I'm actually going to face towards you guys. I'm going to go ahead and separate our legs a good shoulder distance apart and then some. From here, I'm going to rotate towards my right leg for me, and I'm going to just use that band to bring my toe up towards my nose and also to get a little bit more rotation in that torso. Good, take a nice deep breath in and exhale, dive over the legs. We can unhook that band and just reach down to wherever you can hold, whether that's your thigh, your shin, or your foot. Come all the way up, bring the band with you, rotate over to that second side. Let's loop that band around the arch of that foot for me. Again, we're going to use that band as a way to rotate for me. We're going to flex that foot, so we're getting into the calf and that hamstring for me. And as we exhale, we're going to fold over that leg. Again, holding wherever you can. Good. Take a nice deep breath in and exhale. Leave the band where it is. Come all the way up. And let's sit our legs crisscross applesauce. We're going to bring our right hand down to the floor. And if you can go ahead and come down to the elbow, eventually feel free to. But we're going to reach that left arm over for me. So you can look up to the ceiling, down to the floor, or straight on. I'm going to go ahead and come down to my elbow. Again, trying to focus on getting the opposite hip bone down, the opposite sit bone down, I should say. Come all the way up, and let's come to that second side. So again, we can come down to the hand, or we can come down to the elbow. Getting a really nice side body stretch. And come all the way up. And let's go ahead and do a couple of shoulder rolls for me. Shoulders to the ears, squeeze back, slide down. And again, shoulders to the ears, squeeze back, slide down. And last one, shoulders to the ears, squeeze back, slide down. And those magic words you've been looking for, you my darlings, are all done. Fabulous job, and I will see you next time.